Welcome to the Sugar Spray Airbrush tutorial. Here I'm going to show you how to take apart your Sugar Spray Airbrush machine to clean it and service it. It's very important to do this on the regular because sometimes you can get clogging and it just keeps it from rusting. It's just very good to do. Our Sugar Brush Airbrush machine has this little nozzle here at the end. If you tighten it fully, what it does is it makes it so the gun controller is locked. This just makes it a lot easier for if you're storing it, then you don't have to worry about it being bumped. If you are going to be using the airbrush, I do suggest keeping it at halfway. This just gives really good control of it. Our Sugar Spray Airbrush machine comes with a 7cc ink tank, which is perfect if you're doing a lot of airbrushing so you don't have to keep refilling it all the way. It also comes with a super handy lid to avoid any overflows when you are putting your airbrush machine down. When you're cleaning your airbrush machine, you want to take it and hold it nice and still, making sure you're not touching the nozzle at the end, and you're just going to twist off this one part here. This is the casing that's going to encase all of those little things. I do highly suggest getting a little cup to hold them so they don't fly away. They literally fly away. I have lost them so many times. This little guy here especially. I've lost mine about 4 times. So we're going to take that one out and then we're going to twist out this other one. This one right here is what gives you control of the gun spray. So just twist that one all the way out. And then on the inside is going to be a spring. You want to make sure you don't lose a spring. And then this the second piece is has a little toggle on the end, and what that toggle does is it actually hooks behind the gun pressure. Here I'm going to be taking out the airbrush pin. You want to be so careful with this guy here, making sure that you are not bending it. Then I'm going to be taking out the little nozzle. As you can see, it's a cute little guy. Just pop that one out. From here you can take some water or airbrush cleaner and just pop it in there, give it a swirl. And the top part here comes in 2 pieces. Just be very careful as there is a very fine little tip and you don't want to dent it, as you can see here. So I like to take some paper towel and just lightly clean this. It'll help with any kind of clogs. And I also like to put in water and just kind of shake it through the machine right through here, just making sure that there's no clogs. You can blow on the end of it if you need to. Once you cleaned it and you're satisfied that it's nice and clean, you want to start by going back the way that you just started. So we're going to put that one on in because that was the last one we took off. And then just make sure we put this tip on. Again, making sure that we don't jam any of the little areas, the little spikes. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this cute little gun nozzle in, making sure that it goes right into that hole right there. And it's super simple, and then you can turn around and see that it is in place. Now this is where you have to be very careful with your needle. You don't want to jam in, you want to go nice and slowly, really slow. You don't want to mess the end of it because that will mess with your spray. Once we have that in there, we're just going to make sure it's all the way through, checking on the other side. And then when we take this, we want to make sure that that little end is pointing down. So once you put it onto the needle, you want to then poke it down so it goes in. And then you can kind of see that you want it to go right behind the toggle. So as you can see, it's kind of on the side. So I'm just going to kind of tip my machine to the side just to make sure that it goes in place fully. So you want it to be right behind. And then I'm going to take my spring. I'm going to put the spring back on. Then I'm going to take the second piece that goes behind the spring, take that, screw it in nice and tight. So the more that you tighten it, the more pullback you have. And then you want to take this little nut, pop that one on, and then the outer casing as well. And firmly get that one in place, and then you are good to go. Sometimes you do have a clog within the gun that you can't control, so what you want to do is just put your machine back on, hook up the hose and everything, put a little bit of water in, And sometimes I find if it's not doing properly, what I like to do is I like to take my finger and put it on the end as the machine is on, and then it will actually push the air back up the machine, and that will help with any kind of clogs that are stuck as well. Another thing I recommend is an airbrush cleaner. I use water on the regular, but then I also like to use this airbrush cleaner when I'm doing my really good clean, probably about once a month. You just pop that right inside of your ink tank, and then you just pull back your nozzle, make sure that you're on the highest setting so it just blows out any kind of obstructions that you have there, and that will just clean it. Do make sure that you rinse it with water before you go and put ink in, as it is a soap. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.